Okay, we're ready for the meeting, Dale. You're muted, Dale. Oh, Dale's dropped off. Okay, Rose, would you like to take over until Dale pops back in?
Sure can.
Okay, thank you.
Calling to order the Park Advisory Board meeting today, March 10th, 2022 at 5:05 p.m. Let's see, attending, we have Yvonne, Sandra. Oh, Dale's back. Dale, did you want to take over?
Why don't you just finish the
Roll call.
roll call?
And from the city, we have Chelsea Starner.
Okay, I think he's still having.
Maybe some.
He can also call in if needed.
You mind if I call Lindy?
Yes, please call Lindy.
All right.
We're having a technological issues for this meeting.
More fun that way.
See if I ask Dale to unmute if that will work.
Can you unmute him on your end?
I did try to, yeah. I've asked him.
Okay.
This is an exciting start to our meeting. I may have to see if he can call in.
Okay. Without Dale, we don't have a quorum, right?
No, I don't. Well, yeah, because technically the one Izzy's position is still a position.
Mm.
So 1, 2, 7. We need 4 people.
Okay. And I don't see that on the agenda, but maybe we can talk about next steps for that after we figure out our technical difficulties.
Yes, I will tell you what is happening with that
Okay.
as part of my staff update.
Mm.
I'm thinking, Dale, if you can hear me and can call in, we could try that again, but I'm also going to send the information here that would help you get into the meeting with your phone. All right, that was sent. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'll just give you an update since that's not actual business that we need to discuss. So that is on the council agenda for the Monday night meeting coming up, how they would like to proceed with that, and if they would like us to advertise for the opening. So I think there's about a month or so of the period to request applicants. And then I believe the mayor appoints the park advisory board members. So the mayor would select someone, and I think that might be Dale. I'm going to answer this. Hello, Dale. I'm going to put you on speaker.
We can hear you, Dale.
I'm gonna have to. He's having feedback. I think Dale cannot be on the screen and the phone at the same time. I don't know why this is happening because he's muted. Dale, if you could go to the email that I just sent and call in on that and enter the meeting code and remove yourself from the video, that would work. Okay, so yeah, so within a month, so that meeting's the 14th, and I think it was about a month that we would accept. So I think it would be the May meeting for the city council. And their meeting is after your meeting, so it would probably not be until June that we would have a member. Yeah,
But that position still counted as part of a quorum.
I believe it is. I can ask the city recorder how that works if there is a vacancy, if it kind of removes that. But yes, I will ask that because that would make a difference. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's any other staff updates I could give you. Well, Dale's aware, but the Veterans Memorial Park, we did get official news. I don't know if you saw it. It was covered by KZI and our local Philomath News that the grant was received, so it's official. And so we are working on we have a preliminary design that we're having some changes made based off what the neighborhood said that they would like to see at the park. And so in April, Eric Neiman is going to come to the park board meeting and kind of present that. His father-in-law has donated time to draft the preliminary design. So he'll present that, and then we're going to talk about the war memorial itself. I've asked Eric to consult with the veterans groups that he's involved with, and his father-in-law, I believe, is involved with, on just some concepts and ideas for the board. I felt, and was not trying to speak for you, but that you would like to have some idea of what those groups were hoping to see before you made a recommendation for it. So Dale is still muted. I think, Rose, you're going to have to try to just run the meeting here. He's here.
So we can count him. We have a quorum.
I'm going to count him. I'm just going to continue on the side, try to see if I can get him vocal.
Okay. So looking for a consensus approval for the February meeting minutes. Do we have to take a vote, Chelsea, or can we just say seeing no objections?
Yeah, if there are no objections, Karen.
Any objection or any changes or adjustments to the minutes from last month? Okay, seeing none, minutes are approved. Moving on to business, looking at the Music in the Park 2022 planning. We're selecting the bands tonight. I know you're trying to work on technical difficulties, Chelsea, but did you have a process for how you wanted us to complete this?
So what I was thinking is that we could go over the list that I gave you, and so that you can see who we received applications from. And then I'm going to try to call Dale, sorry, here while I'm doing this. And then if, you know, like you had recommended to have a list. And so I think maybe having a list might work. Going over the list. Hey, Dale, I'm going to keep you on this phone, okay? Can you hear us? Dale? Oh my goodness. Okay, not working out well. So let me screen share so you can see who the participants were that submitted applications. Let's see which one. I had two. Did you prefer the, well, I can show the
I like the Word document the best.
the applicant availability where it shows the dates. Is that the one you mean?
Yeah, that was clearer for me.
Okay. Can you see the document?
Yep.
All right. So let me see if I can get it bigger here. Okay, so what I did on this is I broke it down by date on who was available. And so I did it several ways. And if you have a list of your favorites, we'll want to discuss that. But this also will show you if there's someone that you particularly like that maybe only has one date, that we may just want to select them for that date. So Rose, could you maybe start the discussion while I try again to get Dale on here?
Sure, absolutely. For Yvonne and Sandy, did you guys have a chance to listen to the bands, and did you guys have like a top 3 or anything like that?
So, yeah, I
Yvonne.
listened.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sandy.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Sandy.
I listened to the ones that I could access. I wasn't able to, I don't do Instagram, so I couldn't do that one for the Jade and Noble.
Mhm.
But I did actually pick 6. So any 3 of those 6 are what I like the most.
Okay.
So I liked Ancient Ways, DTR,
Mhm.
Morning Train, Scruggs and Steel, Rhythm of Ages, and Summer of Love.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I found so far.
Perfect.
I have some that I like too. I was not able to listen to Scruggs and the Steel Benders, which I'm disappointed because I have a feeling I'd probably like them. And I could not I don't have Instagram, so I didn't hear Jaden or Henry.
Okay.
But the
Right.
ones that I did like, I liked the Cisco Billies, probably because I like that kind of music and I thought they were kind of fun. The Morning Train, Electric Gospel, they seem to really have their act together.
Mhm.
Rhythm of Ages, DRTR, Mons Lahire. I'm not sure how you would say that. They're different style, but I thought, they were pretty good. And then Molly Myers, good. I know she's just a single, but she seemed to be pretty competent musically. So
Mhm.
I think those are the ones that I had.
Great. On my list, I have DRTR. Let's see, Molly Myers. I also had Mayday. Let's see, Rhythm of Ages, and I was able to listen to Jaden Noble. It's kind of country acoustic kind of music. Amazing singer. I really liked his voice, or their voice. And It's Not Rocket Surgery was a great one. I felt like it would fit the Philomath vibes pretty well. Classic rock kind of band. So just trying to get down.
Yep. I had It's Not Rocket Surgery rated pretty high
Mhm.
compared to some of the others too.
Has everyone presented their list?
Yes.
Okay, Dale, do you want to tell us who you have on your top favorite list for?
Well, I know I've already set up for August the 28th for Scrubs and the Steel Benders, and July 31st for Family Tradition. But on this order here, looks like a DRTR I put on okay. Easy Target was kind of a question mark. Family Tradition was an okay. Mayday was an okay, just from what I'd seen on their sound bid site. And Molly Meyer was questionable. And the Mon Lahar, whatever it is, I put no by my thinking. Morning Train, Electro Gospel is okay. And the Rhythm in the Ages is okay. And so that's kind of what I've come up with. If
Okay, Dale, which bands did you, again, it does have to be a consensus of the board because that's the way that you all had decided to do it, but which dates did you hope?
But see, I set these guys up before we had decided that we was gonna do this.
Oh, okay,
So anyway, I have Scruggs and the Steel Benders for August the 28th
okay,
and July 31st, Family Tradition, which is, I believe, the one that we had him before. Kitty Pellet.
okay. Well, let's start with, because I didn't hear the first two lists, Yvonne, I didn't hear yours or Sandy's. Did anyone have Steel Benders or Family Tradition on their lists of bands that they liked?
I think we all did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not Family Tradition. I wasn't able to locate them, but if they're the same ones from last year, they were great.
okay, they think they are. They were there last year, right, Dale?
It's a young man and his two boys.
Yeah, and I wasn't able, I didn't get any information for links and I couldn't find them either, so.
I
Okay.
couldn't either.
Yeah, okay, so, but I know they've played before and I think they've also played maybe at the Frolic. So they are kind of a local,
Yes, they are. Right now, they're playing two over for the American Legion in Albany.
mhm.
And
So,
he just does weekends.
okay, family tradition and then Steel Benders. So I think the question would be is if there's someone else that everybody wants that they're only on those lists. DRTR is only was, and again, this, when I reach out to these bands, they could say we had this date fill up.
Mhm.
So we have to keep that in mind. But if DRTR is a band that people are wanting to see, it looks like the only option would be for June 26th.
Oh, because the 31st is taken.
Right. So, what does anyone think about that? As a possibility, we don't have to, it doesn't have to be set in stone, but we can kind of look at it and see how it looks.
No, that was, so you're on May 26th, you said, to which band you was thinking?
Well, I'm looking because part of it is, which you can't see this unfortunately, Dale, but
Yeah.
part of it is that if I start plugging these in with the bands here, the Steel Benders, then we have only 4 dates left. So that's part of, I think, the complication here. Does anyone have a top 3? Can we hear top 3s for people? Like your top 3 bands?
Probably if I had a top 3, I'd probably say the Scruggs, of course, and the Family Tradition, and probably for another one, there was one that I think they did a lot of blues music.
Does anyone know the band that did the blues music by chance?
Was that the Rhythm of the Ages?
Oh, the blues. That was DRTR.
DRTR.
DRTR?
DRTR was the blues band, and I really like them. They would be in my top 3.
That would be my 3.
Okay, so I'm gonna just go through you. Rose, you have DRTR. And then what-
Yeah, DRTR. I really liked Molly Myers
Okay,
and the Mons Lahire. That's how you pronounce it.
okay. And then Yvonne.
Let's see, make sure I'm not muted. I like DRTR. I liked the Electric Gospel Morning Train, like Molly Myers.
Okay, let's stop there. We're gonna do top 3 right now. And then Sandra.
I like Ancient Ways.
Okay,
That's a local, they played at the marketplace
yes.
last summer. They're really good. You know, it's not something that we hear a lot, the genre, but it's great music. And I like the morning train.
Okay.
And Rhythm of Ages.
Train. Okay. So the way we have it now down here, we've got DRTR from people's lists, and we've got Dale's two that he liked. Molly Myers is one that's on multiple lists.
I would like to change, keep my family tradition and Scruggs,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't mind that Marinda band,
The Ancient Ways. Okay,
She spoke at our meeting today, and I forgot she had mentioned it.
okay.
She's one of the sponsors also. So.
Let's see, Ancient Ways, so. she's got
Chelsea, I do,
several.
oh.
Oh, go ahead, Rose.
I did have a question. It seemed like, I didn't know if the bands, like especially the ones where it's just one person, would be able to fill the entire 2-hour time. I was
Right.
wondering maybe just, and this might gung up the works even more, but maybe having one person do 1 hour and then a new person do the second hour.
I think, yeah, so I think most of the bands that you have on here, I believe, have more than one person except for Molly Myers.
And Jaden Noble as well, right? Or do they have more than one person?
One person, yes, but if we're on our top 3 list, it would just be Molly. And I know Ancient Ways did said they could fill the full 2 hours.
Okay.
Specifically, I heard them today. They said
Okay.
we can fill the full 2 hours. And so if we want to try to put them in, and we can move these a little bit because I think they're available. Let's see, I guess they're available just 2 dates. Let's just put them in one to kind of just hold the spot. And so Ancient Ways was the top one. And then it looks like Molly Myers was one that several people liked. That would be a question if they are able to fill that spot by themselves. If we wanted to have kind of a backup. So if we come up with this list and you want to have a couple single artist backups, then I can ask that question and contact, if they say, oh, I can only do an hour, I could contact the next ones on the list to see about that as well.
Okay.
So Molly Myers was available just a few days, I think. So that's going to be here and here, which we currently have filled up on the list. So I think we would have to switch these two.
Who's Molly Myers and who?
It's, well, just Molly Myers, but we had said maybe we could reach out and see if they feel like they can do the whole 2 hours themselves. And if not, we'll add another choice or two of the single artists that I could contact if needed.
Because I know in the past, I think they've said that it's kind of tough,
Mhm.
to change the bands out. You're gonna have to,
Well, the equipment, right,
yeah,
right.
you'll
It's
have
something
a
we
gap
could-
in time there, and
yeah.
it's lose people in the music.
Well, and let's just make sure when we get this done and we have this list completed, let's come up with like 2 other people as backups. And so if I run into that and people say, we can't fill that time, then we can just go to the backups. Does that sound like a plan to everyone?
Okay.
Okay.
Another idea with a single artist is they probably wouldn't have a lot to set up. So if you had a single artist with another band or something, you could have the band all set up and have the single artist play first, and then they just slide off with their one microphone and the other band's already set up.
That's a good
Mhm.
idea. Good point.
No, that's a thought.
Yeah. So the other bands that we have in this top 3 for everyone, they each have just 1 vote. So let's talk about those. So we have Rhythm of Ages, Morning Train, Monsla Hire, and Electric Gospel. So those each came from one of your lists. So did anyone have, let's see, Sandra, you had Morning Train and Rhythm of Ages. Does anyone else have either of those bands higher up on their list?
Let me look and see. Rhythm of Ages.
Rhythm of Ages, I did. I thought that their lead singer was really good.
Yeah, I also liked Rhythm of Ages and Morning Train, but the lead singer of Rhythm of Ages, I do know her from years ago. She's really good.
What'd you say, Dale?
I said, I put an okay on hers.
On
You know,
Rhythm of
but,
Ages?
I was saying they'd be an okay band.
Okay. And then what about Morning Train? Does anyone, we've got, Sandra has Morning Train. Did anyone else?
Electrical Gospel, I have okay on that also myself.
Electric Gospel.
And do they
Yeah, I
only
like
sing
them.
gospel music?
Well, so
But they
the,
kind of have a little mixture from what I could see here in the contracts they put out to us.
what the information I got was that they kind of did a restructure on their music that they offer. So it sounded like they used to play one type of music. Now they've kind of restructured. And I may have forwarded that email to you. I cannot remember if I did.
Chelsea sent
oh, here it is.
out a list in an email that you can go in and listen to all these bands if you didn't.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So I think what it says is that last year they played Music in the Park on Sunday with the Michelle D. Deadman group. So they did play last year, but now they have their own band, which they say is playing fun, upbeat gospel music called Morning Train. No preachiness, just fun music and uplifting songs. So it is possible that if you were hearing other music that wasn't, that it may have been their older music, so that they've maybe switched a little bit to being more electric gospel based. If that answers your question, Rose.
Yeah, the sample that I listened to was, I don't know, a little bit gospel-y, but also I don't know, more modern and more I guess I would say more what's the genre? Bluegrass, kind of bluegrassy.
Hi, Lindy. I apologize. Apparently you changed your email address. And
Well, I apologize because I was outside and I totally forgot about the meeting.
okay, well, we got you in here.
My computer wasn't even on, but I'm here now.
Okay.
Can everybody see me and hear me or whatever?
Yes, unfortunately, I'm not sure you got the email that I sent out with the band list, so you might be feel a little out of sorts on this topic.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
sending your email across the city tomorrow.
I see it now.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
looking at it now.
Yeah, so
Ancient Ways. Oh, yeah. Ancient Ways is the marimba band. They're really good.
yeah, so we currently have them on the bottom. We're kind of filling in what we think might fit in, and we have them on at the bottom there. That's what we've so far reached.
Okay.
Now we're trying to discuss a couple other bands. It sounds like Rhythm of Ages. I don't know if they've played before, but most of the members liked Rhythm of Ages. So
Rhythm of, oh, that one. Oh, I don't know anything about that one.
They're like oldies, kind of classic rock.
that's fun.
Okay, that's fine with me. I like that sort of thing.
Okay. So
Yeah, I don't know these names, except I do know Ancient Ways, but
okay, well, one more vote for Ancient Ways.
I would vote for Ancient Ways if that's
Okay,
not
good.
on my list, Chelsea. I really
right,
like them as well.
I think everybody likes them. Is everybody good with Ancient Ways?
they are excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do know somebody who plays on that band too.
Okay. Okay.
So,
so
has somebody listened to some of these others or?
yeah,
okay.
Unfortunately with the email issue, you didn't get that list, but everyone for the most part has listened to those, and I apologize profusely. I I just didn't get notified of that. But
Oh, DRT didn't we have them before last year or something?
I think, and Family Tradition, I think has maybe played, maybe under a different name, but
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
did.
Yeah.
They was just Kitty, I think it was Kitty Pellet and Sons or something like that.
mhm.
And they changed it to Family Tradition because they added their second boy finally come on with dad and the other brother.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So how's everybody feeling about the list so far? This is a good time to speak out. Dale, you can't see it, but we've got Rhythm of Ages, Ancient Ways, Marimba Band, Molly Myers, DRTR, Family Tradition, Steel Benders.
Okay.
Anyone have any feedback about that?
Well,
Is there anyone that Lindy, you didn't get
Uh-huh.
to listen, unfortunately, but is there any band that you're not seeing on here that you just are really feeling should be on here? And we still have this spot here on August 18th.
oh, yeah, how come I can't scroll down and see what's the rest? I can only see up to June here, May and June on my computer.
Yeah, on my screen as well, I can only see up. Can you scroll
May and
down,
June.
Chelsea?
Down further on the Word
On the-
document.
Yeah, on the Word document.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
July and
scrolling.
August. I can't see July and August.
Maybe this will work. Can you see it now?
No,
No, it
It's-
stops after July.
yeah, the page is stuck. Well,
Oh,
I don't even see July actually.
I just see the header for the date.
that is very strange. I don't know why, but so currently I have Rhythm of Ages for June 16th.
Okay.
Or let's just start. I have May 29th, Molly Myers, Rhythm of
Oh.
Ages for June 16th, DRTR for June 26th,
Okay,
Ancient Ways for July 21st, Family
Okay.
Tradition for July 31st. I have an opening we were going to discuss those other few bands that were on the top 3 lists for August 18th, and then Steel Benders, I think it's Scruggs and the Steel Benders for August 28th.
I think we had Steel Benders last year, didn't we? And they were good.
Mhm.
Or whenever we listened last, I guess it wasn't last year. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they were there last summer. They were
Yeah,
very
they
good.
were good.
For the last
Mhm.
one,
Okay.
we do.
Okay, so the other bands that we have we were kind of discussing the Electric Gospel, the Mons Lahire, and Morning Train. And I am not sure what kind of, we discussed Electric Gospel and what kind of music that might be. What did the Mons Lahire, what type of music was that, Rose?
They're kind of indie,
Okay,
independent rock.
yeah, that might be interesting to
I thought there'd be
mix in.
something different, a
Something
new
a little
sound.
different. Yeah,
And their music video, they filmed like around OSU campus, so they might bring in
interesting.
Oh,
a different age group.
okay.
Job. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
What's the name of that group?
Mons Lahire,
here.
if I'm saying that right.
Mhm.
Oh, there it is. I see. Okay, Monster High. Okay.
Okay,
So that's fine. I put a no beside that on mine.
you put a no for why, Dale?
I don't know. I just didn't like them, I guess.
Oh, okay, okay,
I didn't particularly enjoy the type of music, I guess.
okay.
I'm in the older age, you know.
What did anyone else have Mons Lahire on their list of bands that they liked?
I have
Yeah,
never heard of it, so I don't know.
You did, Yvonne, not
I
Sandy?
liked them. Yeah.
Yeah,
I also really like the Morning Train Electric Gospel, so that might be a good backup.
okay,
But I thought Mons Lahire was good, even though again it wasn't my style of music. You can still their musicianship was
was
Mhm.
good. They were good at what they did. Okay. So that's kind of a decision that maybe you want to have, is that if you feel like some of the bands are kind of similar in their type of music, do you want to mix it up a little bit and have something that's a little different? You know, or we have the other options here that were on top list. What was Morning Train? Did we discuss what were they? I think Sandra, you had them. What kind of music did Morning Train?
Morning Train is the gospel music.
Oh, there it says it.
Oh,
Morning
there's a
Train,
state.
like,
Morning Train. Great, sorry. That goes all together. That's one band.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's gospel, some gospel like, but I think it's more, I felt it was more bluegrass,
Oh,
bluegrassy than it is gospel, really.
Okay. So I think, yeah, we'll just have to maybe take a vote on whether you want to see I think that's the only top three. I think we have everything on here that was in people's kind of top three lists, except for the Morning Train, Electric Gospel, and Monsell Higher. So do you want to maybe raise a hand? We'll see if we can come up with a vote here. Dale, you can signify. If you would prefer, let's just start with the Morning Train, Electric Gospel. We're going between Monsell Higher and Morning Train, Electric Gospel. So Morning Train, Electric Gospel. Hands raised for that.
It looks like Monsell Higher isn't available for the 2 dates that we have left.
Oh,
well, that answers that
but
question.
we may be able to still switch, just so you know, because there might be something here that can
Move someone else around.
move around. So let's just start with kind
Okay.
of plugging in, and then I can see what we can fit in. Okay, so we're voting for Morning Train, Electric Gospel.
I
So
voted no on the other one when I.
So if you had to pick between the two, Dale, you would pick the Morning Train.
Yes.
Okay. And Sandy.
I've never heard them, so I can't give an
Maybe
opinion.
abstain from the voting. Okay. Yvonne.
However, I will go with what Yvonne says because she is a musician.
Okay.
I would
So-
too, except for the only reason I would, because I love the morning train.
Okay, so Yvonne's a vote for Morning Train. Okay, so what I'll do is put down Morning Train here. Because the only other top three was not on there is the Monsell Higher. I'm gonna put that on the list as well. And does anyone have any specific dates that they feel like they need to see these bands aside from what Dale committed to? Like if I move these around, are you okay with that?
I guess so.
Okay.
On that Sunday, June 26th, the DRTR,
Yep.
and you said Molly Myers is on that, was chosen?
No, DRTR is listed on June 26th right now.
Okay, good, because that's who Marcia Gilson was given the money today to sponsor them.
Yes, we did get an additional sponsorship today, so that's good news too. We've received sponsorships to cover all of the band fees, which is
Great.
great.
All of them.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so
Terrific.
we did have a Pheasant Court Winery, Strengthening
Oh, yeah.
Families, Russell Watkins Trucking, and then Pioneer Connect.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Next year, we'll, I think, have more opportunities, but this year we're trying to keep it simple. So we've got the bands covered. We're gonna stop there. So I think if you all think the list looks okay, and I again don't know if you can see it. It's just, I don't know why you can't see it.
Could you send me out a copy of it tomorrow, the ones we.
I will. I'll send it to everyone so you can see it.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
But the additional thing that I would like to do is pick an additional single singer in case any of these would like to try to split it up. And I think the people that were single musicians were maybe Henry Jackson Jr. and Jaden Noble. Did anyone have a chance to listen to either of them?
Which one was Henry? I don't see that on the list.
Yeah.
Henry Jackson, it's under May 29th.
Yeah, he's
They wasn't on the list I had for the ones you sent out for.
okay. He came in,
So-
I sent an email pretty late, so he's on a couple dates.
And they're both on
Um,
Instagram. So if you don't have Instagram, you can't see them.
Yeah.
What kind of
so
music does Henry play?
I'm trying to see. Oh, that was the one that came in. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a second.
What was Jaden Noble?
Jaden Noble was country acoustic.
Mhm.
He had a really good voice.
Not all of us use Instagram.
Well, and that, yeah, again,
I
I
couldn't
couldn't
hear-
find
couldn't
another
hear
option.
Jane.
I know, I couldn't find it anywhere else. So
I
Henry
know.
Jackson says folk rock singer songwriter, but was only on Instagram. So, and Jaden Noble is country.
Okay.
If we had to choose between the two, I would vote for Jaden.
Okay,
We don't really have any country with the other bands, do we?
no, I don't think
So,
Scruggs.
and people do like that. Some people do like that. So.
Okay, so I'll put
Jeff
Jaden on
Diane
there.
is a solo.
Yeah, I'll put Jaden on there as a potential option in case Molly Myers feels like that would be too much of a spot. Maybe they could both figure out how to
Is that-
on
Yep.
there. Okay, and then if we could, well, let's go with that. I think we have enough movement here with those bands that I can get them fit in, even if I have to do a little coordinating with them on dates. So if you're all okay with that, I'll send out the list tomorrow so you can see it better. And I'll just get to work on reaching out to everyone tomorrow to see if we can get a calendar. Does that sound good to everyone?
Okay, thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah,
Just
thank
want
you.
to take a minute and thank you very much for all the work you've done to get this stuff out to us.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's good. It's
And the
exciting.
work you've done to get the sponsors too.
Thank you. And thank you, Rose. Rose did a lot of
She did.
hitting the pavement. So I even got someone else today that said, I just saw a flyer
Oh,
that they were, I think, a one person. I said, well, the farmers market's also looking for musicians. So I said, we're pretty full on our list here. Our deadline's passed. So yeah, good job to everybody. So that's good. All right. Well, I think we can move on to the
I
next
guess
agenda
our
item.
next agenda item is possible expansion of Marys River Park. We're still gonna go into that tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna need to go into that tonight. Let's see if we can talk about that. Sandra, do you like Sandy or Sandra? Let's just ask
You
you.
call me Sandy.
Sandy, okay.
Most people do.
I thought that that's how you signed your email, but I wanted to check. Okay, Sandy has her hand up.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that I talked with Kevin Fear today about that lot, well, that field, okay, and because I wanted to be a little more clear on what was going to happen in the future, and from what I've been hearing about it. I don't know. So I think that I'm going to say, I would say no on it because I would like to keep it as natural as possible. Okay. There's going to be the new pump station there by where the mud hole is, really, where people make a mud hole. There's lots of pipes that run under the field. And there's going to be more now because of the station. It's a floodplain. There's all kinds of reasons why I would not like to see it developed. But if we can, if we want to discuss, more discussion about it, I'm open to whatever. I mean, so I was concerned about the parking situation for PCS once the plant gets underway, they're going to lose their parking. So one of my questions to Kevin was, where are these people going to park? Well, he doesn't know, but he thinks that they're not going to park in that field because it would entail all kinds of surveying and it's a wetland and I guess I'm hoping everyone read his little email. Did you guys get that too? Yeah. So I just feel like my main interest is in preserving what we already have at Marys River Park. And he seems to be kind of on board with that. So I kind of like to go in that direction more. And I kind of caught a little scuttle about maybe the city council is interested in spending a little bit more money for parks, for the park. So yeah, so if everyone wants, if you want to table it and talk about it again later, next meeting or something, I would be fine with that. So that's kind of what I had to say about it. Thank you.
Okay. I think it would be good if people are leaning toward either not wanting to do it or thinking maybe the timing, you know, I talked about that last time, is that maybe the timing is not great, even if this is something that you think you want to explore in the future. That we did just get done adopting the park master plan and have a lot of things identified, and it's sort of coming in right when we have that brand new shiny plan and tried to add something to it automatically. And so, you know, that if you could come to a consensus, if anyone, if you feel at least similar on those two things, either no or, you know, revisit this in the future, maybe, you know, when we do another park master plan update, which, you know, gets done fairly regularly. And so you know, those could be options if no one was really opposed to that and just wanted to really push to do it. So maybe we can hear from anyone who, you know, is anyone in favor, thinking that you wanted to come here and vote yes on this evening?
I'm in favor of keeping it as natural as it can be.
And I don't really feel like I understand what it's even all about because I came in late. But
Okay.
I don't feel like I need to. I like natural, but I just don't know even what we're voting on. So I'm fine with just abstaining from a vote.
Okay. Rose?
I was kind of on the fence about it because I thought it would be a way to potentially protect the land from further development, like another housing thing. But
Mm.
because it's on a floodplain, I think a developer would be silly
Yeah.
to develop there.
Right.
And then
Well,
like,
they've done that before.
right, what Sandy was kind of saying about how there's going to be development there as far as the new water treatment coming in, and things are kind of unsure. I think what Chelsea's suggesting, that we table it for now and kind of see what happens after the new water treatment facility gets updated, and we kind of see what happens there, that we make a move at a later time.
I
Dale?
agree with that idea.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion, and it couldn't, you know, you could include something like, you're making a motion to, you know, we need to make a formal recommendation to the city council on how to proceed with this and what you've come up with as a consensus. Would someone like to throw a motion out?
I think you had one, Rose. Do you want to say that again?
Yeah, it's kind of what you said, Rose. You could just turn that into a motion.
I would make a motion to table the conversation. Wait, you have your options here. Oh, it's expand or not expand. Sorry. I would make a motion to table the conversation until a further time.
I second that.
Any discussion on that? Okay, can we take a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Yvonne, are you abstaining?
No, not abstaining.
Oh, Lindy voted, Yvonne abstained. Okay. Okay, all right. Well, then you have a recommendation to pass on to the council, and then they can discuss that further again on their end. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Dale, oh, go ahead.
With that same thing in mind, I'm wondering, you know, we had previously talked about the name change
Mhm.
for Mary's River Park.
Yes,
And then the ball went in over to the mayor.
yes.
And my understanding is that he spoke with the tribes and everything was cool with them.
Mhm.
So where are we at with that now?
So, yeah, I think,
If I can interrupt her for a second.
oh, go ahead.
I understood that we tabled that because we got to do a little more research because of
Right.
the way that park was given to us,
Mhm.
are we going against maybe something? So we table that till we find out if we can really do that.
Okay, and
That was part of changing the name too.
okay. I think that the council is maybe going to circle back around on the discussion once you came up with a plan for this park expansion question. So I think they'll talk about
Okay.
both of those things together. Yeah,
Great.
probably at the the April meeting.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Dale, I think we're ready to move on to number 4.
Okay, so is that the one with the
Staff updates.
pardon me?
The staff updates. I
Oh,
was gonna, at the beginning of the meeting, when you were
Okay.
having technical issues, Dale, I just announced that we did formally receive the $50,500 grant for the Memorial Park.
Yeah,
oh,
And
good.
Lindy, you weren't here either. And so that's going to be on the agenda for your April meeting to talk about what to do to review the concept. So there's a drawing, kind of a mock-up concept, and to also talk about the actual memorial statue, sculpture, structure, whatever that's going to be. And so Eric Neiman is pulling together some ideas for that with the veterans organizations that have been involved. And he will be at the meeting and present some ideas. So just a heads up on that.
that would be the April meeting?
Yes, the April meeting.
Okay.
Yep. So that's exciting. And then the skate park, just so everyone has an update on that, is still going through. That's on the strategic plan, which the council is going to work on again at their work session on Monday. And so once that happens, then we'll hopefully also get the capital improvement plan adopted, which funds have been put in the capital improvement plan for the skate park. And I'll be working on the grant for kind of a planning, public outreach, getting to a plan for the skate park process, because we're not ready for a construction grant, but that is something that we can apply for this year. So I'll be working on that. And so that's how that's progressing forward. And the last thing I have to report is
Chelsea, before we move on, can I ask
sure.
a question?
Yes.
So one of the suggestions Izzy had made, it was about creating like a committee that would help with grant writing, community outreach, that sort of thing. Is that still on the table? Is that something that we could talk about?
I don't know that we need a committee just yet. So the planning grants are a little bit easier to apply for than a construction grant. Those are a lot more complicated. I did have an email from, I spoke to someone who was going to come to the meeting today to speak, but Kim Manis, I think. I spoke with Kim today just to kind of update on the skate park process, and had to let her know that getting letters of support right now would be good. We don't necessarily need a committee, but letters of support are good. So it sounded like she had contacts in the skate park support group network. So I'd asked, I had said that would be a good thing to do right now, because those are things that can be included with that planning grant, is just letters of support. So yeah, if anyone else has any letters of support they want to write, if you want to write one as a park board,
Okay.
I can help draft that if that's something too.
Would those letters be included in the grant application?
So yes, you can include
Okay.
letters of support from different organizations. They can be, we are planning to donate materials or donate time, or we're just in support of it, anything like that.
And so what's the deadline for those letters?
So I think the grant deadline is May 15th, maybe. So maybe by mid-April, if I can have those, just to make sure that I can include them.
I think we, I don't know if that can still count.
Yeah, it might be able to. Yep, I'll pull all that together and look at it. while
Yeah,
we're
you know,
paying for
there's
that.
like the garbage company donated to tear down the old building and such.
Oh, for the Veterans Park. Yes, so that's been included on the Veterans Park. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, did anyone have any other questions about skate park progress? Sorry, I was moving through them quickly, trying to keep you on your hour deadline. And so the park at the Mill Pond development is also starting to come to fruition. They're getting closer to that process. The developer has been having some meetings or had a meeting with the neighborhood to kind of get their input on what they would like to see in their neighborhood. And so I'm trying to pull together a meeting. I'll be reaching out to all of you, kind of like a community workshop for that park where we could invite the neighborhood, anyone else, public meeting, and you all. So I'll be sending out an email, just keep an eye out for that, on some of the things that they discussed, some of the, they have some playground equipment and examples that they've looked at, and just to get you brainstorming. I know that you've all talked about it before, so start thinking about it again, the things that you would like to see in that park, because we're going to get working on that as well. And
You're
Sandy,
talking the one in Mill Pond, right?
yes,
Yeah, okay.
yep. And Sandy, you have your hand up.
Hi, yeah, I just, I heard some news around town that the pond was not going to be, that was going to be deleted from that plan. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. The park shifted to where I'm not familiar exactly with how it was before, but it did shift to a kind of a different part of the overall property. It's still a very large park, has a lot of trees. I think there's like 80 some trees to be put in. Has a nice, yeah, there's a nice open space. There's a playground area.
So are they going to fill that pond?
I don't know that. Yeah, we would have to follow up with the city manager on that. I don't know the specifics of that part of the project.
Thank you.
Just been honing in on the park area that's currently on the list. Lindy?
So actually, part of my question was the question that Sandy just asked. And so where exactly is that park going to be? There's 15th Street with houses, there's 14th Street with houses, and there are no other roads there at this point. So is the park going to be located kind of where there would, well, let's see, what street would it be? Oh, I'm sorry, 15th, 16th, I beg your pardon. Whoa, now I'm getting really mixed up. 14th, there's a 14th Street and a 15th Street. There's no 16th Street yet. Is that where the park would be starting, behind the houses that are already constructed? Is that it?
So, yeah, I would have to pull up a map. I'll see if I can here. But I can certainly send that to you as part of it so that you can visually see where it is. It did just go through a planning commission meeting.
I think the Mill Pond, we still talking about that?
We are.
Yeah.
Because I understand today's meeting that they kind of redid the way they want to build that.
Right. That's what we were talking about.
Okay, so then that's still kind of on the drawing board, I think, but I think it's been approved that they could possibly do that. Is that correct?
Yes, it was approved. So, you know, but there are still specific. So even though I'm trying to see if I can find the actual, let me see if I can see it here.
And that might have been why the Mill Pond itself went away.
Yeah, I think it is because they reconfigured it. That's not a very user-friendly map. I have, yeah, let me just send you what I have because there is a good map out there that shows the park area really well. So I'll send that to you.
That'd be
So,
good.
yes, that'll be coming up. I'll talk to you all about trying to set a date, which might be separate from your normal park meeting schedule. So
Okay.
I'm trying to work on that with the developers.
So I have another quick question about that area, because I walked down there to have a look. And so between 15th Street and 16th Street, there, where those backyards back up to, there's like a deep gully there. Do you know what they plan to do with that?
If it's part of the development, I assume that some of that's just gonna be filled, but that's an assumption. I don't know specifics. Again, we could ask Chris about it. And wait, this might show the.
Is Mill Pond Park going to be on our agenda for next month?
I don't know if it will be on the agenda or if we'll be having that. I'm trying to schedule that community meeting like for.
Oh, it'll happen that soon.
The beginning of
Oh, okay.
April. Yeah, I'm trying to get it. I'm just trying to figure out what works on their end. They do
Okay.
have they, like I said, they have kind of a neighborhood committee that met once to give feedback. So we want to,
Okay.
we're trying to maybe make it so that you know, other people can come, maybe have it on the weekend. So if you have families, kids, whatever, you can come and do that. So
And
I'll
will
reach
we
out
do
to
that
you.
instead of our April meeting, or?
I think we'll still need to hold an April meeting
Okay.
because you do have quite a few things that we're trying to get
Different.
work done. Yeah, so the Veterans Memorial Park, that needs to be discussed for sure. So it'll be separate. I think that this community workshop should be more of a, just kind of a fun, having input on this park. You know, here's what we'd like to see. And then we'll just hold your regular meeting as well.
Okay,
So
we've
keep-
had those meetings like that at City Hall.
Yeah, so it will be at City Hall, at the council chamber.
Oh,
But yeah, we'll just, I'll be getting a hold of you about that soon.
And
Thank you,
we've
that
already
sounds like a
been
good
out to the people on that park down there,
The Veterans Park. Yep,
We've already been out and talked to people, that's on record somewhere.
Yep.
When we talked to them what they wanted in that park, so.
yeah, we have all that. And I think you missed that at the beginning, Dale, that we're reworking the drawing for the Veterans Memorial Park based off a couple of things that came out of that neighborhood outreach. So yeah, so that's basically the updates, unless anyone has any other questions for me.
Are we going to be moving to in-person meetings with the
Uh,
mass
they
mandate
are-
going away?
They're discussing that at the council meeting on Monday. So we'll know after that what direction the meetings are going in.
Okay.
Okay,
thank you.
yeah.
I'm ready to go back to in-person,
Yes.
especially since my computer's not working right.
Yeah, I suppose that makes it even more pressing for you, Dale. Okay, does
Pardon
that-
me?
I said that makes it more pressing for you when you're not able to use your equipment.
Yeah, no, but oh well.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Well, I just wanted to say, Chelsea, I think you're doing a great job. Thanks for doing all that you're doing.
Well, all of
I'd
you
say
too.
that's true, that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You make it
More.
very easy for us, which is
Oh,
very nice.
thanks, Dale. Well, and Lindy, I again apologize for the email snafu, but we'll get you all updated and get all the information out to you. Okay.
Thank you. Well, I apologize for being late. So I was having a good time outside. Okay.
Okay, are we ready to adjourn the meeting, Dale?
Yes, thanks everyone, and everyone have a good rest of the week, and